Well, hello, friend. Welcome to another episode of Van Life Living in New York. You know that I don't favor Trump or Kamala Harris or Biden. I've told you that I wouldn't participate in voting for the lesser of two evils this time because that was the truth, but I didn't realize what was going to go on. If you haven't watched the news, you ought to know this, and you ought to be thinking about your future by thinking about preparing. I'm not talking about going nuts, but you should be thinking about these things. They just gave Ukraine the clearance to use United States missiles to bomb the interior of Russia. Now, if you can't figure out why it is that they're doing that right before Trump takes office, well, then you're either not awake or you're, I don't know what to tell you, friend. They are setting him up. So I'm not talking about that I think Trump is the right guy, because I told you before that I see nothing good coming, because even if he was going to do the right thing, they're not going to let him. The World Economic Forum and the corporate slaves that you call politicians are not going to let him stop their 2030 agenda. I don't care what you say. You can say whatever you want, but anybody that's kind of awake knows that BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street own the entire America. They're buying up your housing. All of this they're going to expose, because Robert Kennedy already started exposing it during the elections, right, when he was running. They already know that they're a disaster for their plan. So one way or the other, if they have to crash the economy, they will. Don't think for a second that these folks care anything about you. They've built underground arcs. I keep talking, and I really don't want to talk because, to tell you the truth, friend, I'm expecting somebody to throw me in a psychiatric hospital or prison. If you talk about anything government doesn't like, you know that in the Patriot Act, they can throw me in jail as a terrorist for speaking against the government. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not, right? They can do whatever they want because they sold you out. But I've told you all that, and well, I keep talking about Jesus because Jesus told you the kingdom would not be said to be here or there, but the kingdom of God is within you. So if you want to seek it, now's the time. I've always told you that if you want to know Jesus, get a red letter edition of the Bible and read what Jesus said and read, right? That's where the kingdom is. Jesus is the pearl of great price. He is the treasure in the field, and his words are the field. And if you dig up his treasure, then you'll have it. You'll love what you find. You'll sell everything you have, buy the field, and rebury the treasure, right? So this was all stated by Jesus. It's all hidden there for you. Your kingdom starts off like a mustard seed because you're not anything, you don't understand things. But as you read what Jesus said and do the things he asked, your mustard seed will turn into the greatest of all garden plants, and you'll give shade and rest to your neighbors. But it'll be really him doing it in you, because he's the one who transforms you, right? He'll give you new thoughts, because you will fall on the rock, which is Christ, and be broken into two pieces, right? The two pieces are love and selfishness, and then you'll choose love over selfishness, and you'll enter this kingdom, and then you'll carry a white stone, and nobody will know your name is on it but yourself. So Jesus told you all of this, and I hope you listen to him, because the church has been like serpents. They talk with half a tongue, right? They're like the serpent in the garden. They want you to buy into their babble. Jesus told you that grace and grace alone was a lie when he told you that those that buried their treasure were going to be cast out of the kingdom. He told you the seed that didn't fall in fertile soil, it all died, and he told you how it died. He told you that he was the vine and we were the branches, the Father's the gardener, and then if we were fruitful, he'll prune us and make us even more fruitful. But if not, at the end of the age, he's gathering up the dead limbs, unfruitful limbs, and throwing them into the furnace with everyone else, right? You got that, right? You're not one of these people that are listening to grace and grace alone, because if you call your king a liar, you're not entering his kingdom. He told you, my word, he said, heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will by no means pass away. So, friend, I hope you're listening to Christ, not these Pharisees that are going to owe a greater debt at the end of the age, just as Jesus said they would. I'm talking Christian Pharisees, friend. So this is a time to be preparing to seek the kingdom right now in your secret place with Christ, right? Those words, eat his words, his flesh, and drink his blood, his spirit, right? And then you will be in communication with the Father, and then you won't be afraid because you'll have what you need to get through, and you'll have the confidence that my Father's going to lead you to the right thing. And even if it all goes wrong, you'll know it's going right, and you'll have faith to get through running through the wine press, right? You understand if you're a grape, you're going through the wine press. I hope you've not been listening to these Pharisees lie to you and just buy into their babble. How do you know what wine is in a man if it doesn't get squeezed out? It stinks that that's the way it's going to work. But it said right in the Bible that we would get ran through the wine press, right? Some of us have already been being run through the wine press, friend. I squeezed out some really lousy oil, so I repented. And my Father turned me into a better wine. But I can't do it, only he can. It's the Father that's everything. I'm nothing, right? Of myself, I am nothing. It is the Father who doeth the works. Not even the words I speak are on my behalf, but on behalf of the Father who sent me. I want you to find this kingdom. But if you don't see the setup they're doing and you don't get prepared, you're not going to have the oil for your lamp. And when the light goes out, you're just going to be sour wine. I don't know what to tell you. The purpose of the world is to come to know love by experience. I really want you to learn that. Go read what Jesus said. Figure out his parables. He told you exactly how to do this. He told you at the end of the age, 10 brides were going to wake up. 5 had enough oil, 5 did not. Those 5 would run to the other brides and say, give me your oil. That's the ones that are out there feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, visit the sick and in prison. And you will say to them, give me your oil, friend. And they'll say, I'm sorry, friend, there's no room for you here. Go to the store and get your own, right? You have to rise in the spirit of love. The spirit of the law is the spirit of love. If you don't make that choice, you will not enter my Father's kingdom, because Christ told you that. But he hid it in parables. He said, I'm going to speak in parables so they don't understand. They will be forever hearing and not hear. They will be forever seeing and not perceiving, lest they turn and I should heal them. Have you been healed, friend? Have you risen in the spirit of love? Have you forgiven your neighbor so that you might be forgiven? Because in the Lord's Prayer it said not that you had to. Jesus told you those that he gave forgiveness to at the end of the age, those that went and judged people, he was going to cast them into prison to pay all that's due. This is all what Jesus said. You need to go read his parables and understand that. I sure hope you are. Just know this, friend. I love you because my Father loves you. And I will tell you that across the platforms, all of a sudden, my views are going down because obviously somebody doesn't like what I'm saying because I'm speaking truth. So if you want people to hear this message, I suggest you fall in fertile soil and tell them yourself. And if not, even though I never encourage you to, I do encourage you to at least share this video with the people that you care about, because if they don't have oil for their lamp, they're not going to enter the kingdom. I don't care who they are. Christ said so. So I hope you all are ready. And if you're afraid to talk to your family, then share a video of mine with them. Do something, but don't leave them in the dark, right? Because the darkness is coming. They're going to they're setting us up. All right, just know I love you because my Father loves you, and may God bless you and yours.